Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Katie's taking care of business. We're all in a pandemic. Is that how you say that?
Yes.
I had no wine so far this morning. Today we have a special guest, and that's Michelle Crow from e-worc. She's been with us before. During these trying times, Katie's home taking care of business and taking care of her kids like a lot of you guys. Today's show is about bringing you information, questions, and how do we pay our bills?
That's a great question. Are you going to help me answer that?
I'm going to try. Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas, and I'm the mom.
I'm Katie. I'm a payroll specialist, business owner, and detail-oriented person that makes things happen, and I'm the daughter. Welcome to Cheers to Business.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We were going to do a Facebook Live this morning, but like everything else in the world right now, we're evolving. And to be on the safe side, we decided to go ahead and tape and not go live. Today, Michelle Crow with e-worc, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me again. I'm very happy to be here.
You know, there's a lot of good firms out there, and yours is amazing. I love you. You know that. But I also want to take a throw out to some other local people here in our area, which is Mighty, Bluefish. There's not one company is going to be able to handle all the people that are going to need help restructuring their marketing through these different times.
No, it's got to be all hands on deck.
Well, it's my pleasure. Somebody else was going to be on the live Facebook this morning, and she's doing what she needs to do to take care of her business. So she sent me some questions. You and I have talked. I spent the weekend following unemployment, the Paid Sick Leave Act, the SBA loans, actually did the webinar. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What are your questions? Can we answer them?
And there are so many. And we work with so many different types of businesses. The questions are so varied. We were hearing last week that the SBA had disaster loans available, but they weren't available to us in Mobile because we weren't, a sanctioned area yet. But that changed, like Friday?
Well, what they did when the webinar that I attended, if you were next to a county that did qualify, then you, by adjunct, you qualified. So that was not something widely known. But then now Mobile qualifies. I think everybody's going to end up qualifying. And I've got some pointers and my notes I took on the webinar, but I got an email this morning, and today is Monday, March 24th?
23rd.
I don't know. So, but anyway, probably like a lot of y'all out there right now. What day is it? So today on the 23rd, and every day this week, according to the email, the Alabama Small Business Development Center. It's a nonprofit to help you with your businesses. Go to the source. They're going to be having, I think it's Mr. Michael Brooks, who shows up on the email. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Mel Washington, Elaine Phillips, Carolyn Turner. Those are just some people I've worked with at the SBDC, and they are phenomenal people, and they are sponsored by the SBA.
Okay, got it.
So in these webinars that they tell you, here's some takeaways that I took. Now, I need a disclaimer like on last week's show. Go to your professional. Don't bank 100% on anything that's said in this show today, because it's going to change. One, it may have changed just a second ago, and we don't know about it yet.
Right. We'll find out about it when we get off these mics.
But I highly suggest going straight to the sources. I was looking up unemployment on Friday. I know I scrolled away from what I was saying, but
we'll get back there.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah. I think that's the way it's all going right now.
Yeah. And so I clicked thinking I was going to, well, it wasn't. It was a third party that says, let us help you.
Oh.
Okay.
Careful.
I know. So I'm going to get some sites out that people need to go to besides going on Facebook. All right. Which Facebook's been amazing. I mean, it's a little overload at some point.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you just have to put it down.
Take a break. Unemployment, labor.alabama.gov. Employers can help file for their employees, and employees that have been laid off can go there.
For unemployment.
Okay. All right. All the rules. And they've got something called Sides Benefit 241 application. I ran across it this morning. I suggest that you go and you click on the Alabama Department of Labor site. They have a frequently asked questions. Okay. And what are we? And here it says it's a website that provides an easy and efficient way to respond to unemployment information requests from the state agencies. Helpful, I'm not sure.
in your reading and looking at that, we had a situation come up at our house this weekend where my teenager, she's 18 years old, she's a high school student, and her part-time job, she got laid off. I mean, we got the little notification, you've been laid off. Contact us Monday. We'll have your packet together for you so you can file for unemployment. In the meantime, watch the schedule because you may be able to pick up an open shift. How can you file for unemployment, or can you file for unemployment and pick up an open shift? Doesn't that go against the whole unemployment benefits protocol?
In our life before, yes.
Okay, but I'm thinking they're making some adjustments.
I think they're going to make adjustments to that. I mean, you got to get a job where you can.
Right.
Now, don't forget too that all these people said, "I'm laid off. I'm laid off." There are people hiring. She's already got a job, right?
Yeah, she already got a job. She decided to skip the whole unemployment, but it brought up a question for me: if we get into a situation with our employees, can we give them benefits or allow them to get those benefits, but then pull them back in to do subcontract work until this passes?
It's not even up to the employer so much. The employer has always paid in the unemployment tax.
Okay.
State unemployment, which is SUTA, and federal unemployment, which is federal. The employer's been paying it in. It's a percentage based on your history on the first $8,000 in Alabama. Every state's different.
Okay.
All right, so go to your state site, wherever you may be, and to go find out what you can and can't do. Their phone lines, I'm sure, are on overdrive. Working at that office, I'm hoping they went remote. Any of these people trying to help us right now, please be patient with them.
I had to call and ask a question about a business license question last week, and they said, "Well, you're going to have to come in." I'm like, "No, we're not doing it that way." Okay, here's a phone number. Call them. But I need to see your ID. You need to come in,
and that's what's going to happen with this whole world. Originally, the live podcast we were going to do was supposed to be, how to turn your business. What do you do? And that's part of it. This is transforming every way we ever did business.
And did everything.
But I could see so much coming out on the other side for opportunities. If you just can step outside your box of your world for just a second to say, okay, I need to stop doing what I'm doing if it's not working. Roomba. I've said that forever.
Right.
I wish I had $1 for every time I've used the word Roomba. I should get royalties. But
Roomba should send you $1 for every time you say it.
Thank you. I totally agree. See, there's another income source.
Pivot. We got to pivot.
That's it. That's going to be the key to everything. Where's the need? How under these circumstances? Because are we ever going to do anything in person again to the extent that it was done before?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean, why?
And that's where it's going to go.
We're going to see it in the airline industry. We're going to see it in meetings. You're going to see an increase in video conferencing. We've proven now we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, is anybody truly totally alone? Yeah, I still think the isolation's not good. I'm a people person. I saw the one about, don't forget about us huggers. We don't know what to do.
I want to know, right?
I actually had last week, before this got real bad, hugged somebody's baby. And I didn't ask first, and I sent them an apology.
Oh, wow.
Because it hit me after I got home. I went, holy cow. I hugged her baby. I touched her baby. I didn't ask. That baby's just a dream doll, and I think they're angels. And I really felt bad.
Well, I mean, we're all learning. But
it was just instinct to do that because I had done it before with that child and the other kids. And so, yeah, it's real hard on that end. But again, back to business.
Yeah, I mean, in the event of a total shutdown, which is unfortunately, it looks like that's where we're headed. I mean, what can we do to keep our businesses running? Ideas on pivot. I mean, that's what we're thinking about. But we have other business owners that we work with that are asking us, any suggestions. We have a restaurant owner. Well, he has no choice but to shut the doors. I mean,
well, some are doing curbside, but
he's a fine dining dinner only.
See, that's it. You've got each particular restaurant. Hair salons are having to close down, so some are doing curbside product. But I do think in every single situation, you have to know your business. You have to master your business and know the business basics to be able to tell when that point comes that, all right, I need to stop, take a break, chill, learn more. You have all the resources at your fingertips to know about Google searches, keywords, SEO. Go to YouTube. We have all the tools. What society in ever the historical of awful things happening have they had the resources that we have right now to make ourselves better on the other side? It's unreal.
I had someone tell me a story this morning about the boll weevils in Enterprise, Alabama, how they were a cotton city. That's all they did was cotton, and then the boll weevils destroyed everything. Yeah. And so they did some research and started producing peanuts.
Yep, that's it.
Boll weevils don't eat peanuts.
That's it.
So they turned their entire economy, their entire city around because something bad happened.
For some people, if they keep trying to go, doing the things the same way and not accomplishing just because they're struggling to breathe and survive, then I think that it's better to stop just so you can take a break to save your resources so that when this is over, you can pick back up. Watch your expenses.
I didn't buy a Roomba. I bought a Bob Sweep. And it gets into corners and it runs into the corner and it comes back and it runs into the corner again. It never does get out of the corner. And so every time you say Roomba, I think about my poor little Bob.
You need to pivot your machines in your house.
But I'm thinking about those business owners that are just just keep running into the same wall. It's like, stop.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Just stop and see how you, and that restaurant owner that I was talking about, he has a family member who has another business who needed his assistance. So he just regrouped and they're over there helping him right now.
Absolutely. Help your neighbor.
Right. So that's how they're surviving. Another
thing is that you've got these loans. Did the webinar. That's where this conversation started.
We were talking about a webinar and the loan. Yeah.
Full
there we
circle.
are.
Okay. So here's some high points of what I've learned on that. Besides go do the webinar yourself or reach out to your professional in your life who assists you.
Can we put the link to that webinar in the show notes?
Oh, Johnny, yes, please, please, please. Okay. So we'll put all these things up. There's links to direct sources again, please. Okay. You can get with the SBA loans, and whether the package goes through or not, that's it, up in the Senate right now. There's a lot of discussion, and I refuse to get political on this show.
Yeah, let's don't do that.
But according to the webinar, that you can get $25,000 loan to you unsecured. That means no collateral.
You already need to be a sound
You have to
risk, right?
When I stopped that webinar, when it was over, I text Katie and I went, it's BP.
Okay.
We're on the Gulf Coast. How many cases did I assist with the numbers for people to apply for BP? Probably 200. Just me. That's just one CPA that was in town.
Right.
You imagine all over the Gulf Coast.
Right.
All right. So that's how many claims are being filed. Number one, you have to prove anything. They're not going to take you at your word. Why would they? Would you take somebody at their word? They're called scammers.
Right.
Okay. So they don't want to be the victim of people getting money that you should get and need because somebody said they need it more. Well, prove it. And I'm sorry, but that's just what's going to have to happen. You're going to need tax returns. You're going to have to have month-by-month financials, historical, and then do projections, and go months out. If somebody does this for you, they have to disclose it.
Okay.
You have to disclose it in the application, and they have a cap on what can be paid. There's a cap on how much you can pay somebody to assist you with this.
Okay. Well, they have is this an unlimited fund or is this limited? So if you think that you may need this, should you go ahead and start this process? Even if you don't accept the loan at the end of the day, I mean, is that something that you can, right now I'm fine. Mm-hmm. But 60 days from now, we may not be fine.
Right. And so they're saying in the webinar, to go ahead and get in the queue.
Okay.
But there's not a place to put how much you need. So they're saying put it in the comment section.
Okay.
So that was pretty wild.
That's kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about getting a loan because we want to cover expenses, because we all have expenses. We have payroll expenses, we have mortgage expenses, as running a business, there's all this overhead. So what do you pay first? I mean, if I don't get funding, if I don't get an assist, well, even if I do get an assist, how do we prioritize who's first?
I think it's just like who works, who's essential.
Okay.
Who is essential? I don't want to lose my house, but if it's between feeding my kids or paying for my house, what am I going to do? I think everybody, for non-essentials, my husband and I have something that, an extra that we pay for. I'm calling them this afternoon to see if I can get a reprieve.
Well, and some companies are doing that. I know our gym membership, they just said, hey, we're not going to charge you until this thing's done.
Right. But make sure that yours is doing that. Yours might, but your neighbors might not be unless they're asked. And everything that I've seen so far, use the word, I've been negatively.
Whoa, don't say that.
Okay.
Negatively? Negatively?
Yeah. Impaired by the coronavirus.
Okay.
All right. Use the B word. Use the virus word.
Okay.
Are you laughing at me?
I am. I'm trying not to, but yeah, I am.
I have to make it real.
Thank you. I needed that.
I've never talked like a suit.
Okay, so our employees, they're in the same terrifying situation that we're in right now. So we're looking at these staff members. We love them. We work with them every day. The last thing that we want to do is change their lives. But if we do have to cut back hours, if we do have to cut back employees, what are some ideas you're hearing out there on how we can help them? How can we assist them? What can we do for them to make this a little easier on them, or resources we can send them to help them?
Well, I think number one, either helping them with the unemployment or directing them to the labor.alabama.gov or whatever your state unemployment is, I think is number one, because they're not going to sit on these claims. They're going to get them out. So they said. So,
okay.
That's a first resource. I know some employers I know some restaurants that, they've got food in the freezers.
Right.
They've had fresh food. What are they going to do with them? So they're helping their employees, if they decided to shut down, to help feed their employees.
Right.
In two companies that I'm associated with, I have co-owners, Payroll Vault went remote last Monday. They're all working from home. We talked to them last week, and they were loving how productive they were.
Right.
All right. Now, they've been home with their kids for a while, so we're going to call back in and check on them.
Yeah, things may change.
Yeah. And then the other company, we can't go remote. They can't make a product from home, but they're all spaced out. Their workstations were like that already.
Yeah, I've seen that facility. You can isolate
At
yourself.
Marine Exhaust,
you can distance yourself.
It's a big warehouse. And so they need that room to work. So there's plenty of room in between them. So, we feel good that we're following everything that we're supposed to follow.
We went ahead and made the decision last week. I mean, we just sent everybody home, just work remotely, just work from home. We're in primarily a digital environment. There's not a lot there's really nothing we can't do from home. So,
I would hope not.
Yeah.
Seriously. To me, you're a key. Who were those companies out there? I've always been a proponent for advertising. Mm-hmm. All right. So I read an article this morning, and I've seen it before, is that to keep your marketing, don't think you know it all. Don't think you can't afford it. Don't think you can do it all yourself.
A lot of marketing is set up like a travel agent. You're going to pay $1 for this service, whether I do it for you or you do it for yourself. The company that provides the service is going to give me a kickback.
Okay.
Oftentimes. So a lot of times your marketing is going to be the same whether you have someone guiding you or not, and you don't have to take the phone calls. So sometimes that's a benefit too.
I think that's, people need to learn. I think it should be co-living as far as your outsourced person and you, because who knows your business better?
Right.
If you don't have somebody willing to listen to you how you think you should put it out there, or vice versa.
Well, and right now, you really need to bounce that off of someone. We have a client that they do a lot of marketing and a lot of advertising, and right now is a key time in their industry and what they do. But last week, the health department said, no, only urgent. It's a dentist,
Right.
Only urgent care. You can't see it. So we've got 90 days worth of patients we need to cancel or reschedule, and we don't know where we're rescheduling them. But we need to let them know if you do have a toothache, you can see a doctor. So we're still having to market and communicate. The message just changed, and it changed fast.
All right. So just for him, I think the way you make appointments is going to change. This just hit me in my head. So now I'm going to here's the available times you pick. What, Calendly?
I don't use that one, but I don't know.
But there's other ones, right? So this is the time to learn how to do that.
And they do that. They already do online appointment setting, but they've got, you've got to communicate with these people and say, hey, the appointment you thought you had, you don't have that one anymore.
Right.
But in 90 days, everybody's going to need to get their teeth cleaned, and everybody's going to need to go get their hair cut. And whenever this passed, I don't know when. People keep saying when this is over. Well, I don't know how you know this is over. The coronavirus isn't just going to hop a train and leave town. So,
all right,
but eventually, we're all going to have to go get a haircut, and we're all going to have to go to.
So that's what people need to plan for.
That's what you need to plan for in a marketing environment right now. We flipped the switch and changed the topic.
And we did, but I think it's important.
Okay.
Because like our world, everything's evolving. And so this brainstorming, after everything bad has ever happened, all right, so 25 years I've helped businesses, longer than that really, but that was as a CPA. After something bad has always happened, people come out differently on the other side. They reinvent themselves. They rethink things. And we're bigger and better. And that's why we still don't have horses pulling our buggies.
Right.
Okay? And we're able to work and learn while we're forced to stay at home where we have power and water.
Well, and you also have time to think about your business. I mean, all of us get busy in the day-to-day and just doing the thing.
Right.
And now you actually do have time to sit down and go, okay, what do we need to change? How can we be more efficient? What could we do differently?
How do I become better at my business? You're a fantastic plumber. You're a fantastic electrician. But how do you become better with your business? I got a text. I probably heard it a second ago. Should be right now because I thought we were taping earlier. I'm working with Mastery, and we're coming out with a nationwide thing that we're hoping to release that. So people don't cost an arm and a leg, to teach them how expense management, how to work on your business, because those are tools that are needed. Who knew that when, Sean had this concept a year and a half ago? But I think it's more important now than ever that you learn how to make your business better. Now it's how to make your business survive.
Yeah, it's survival mode right now. And I think we do have to remember that we are all in this together, because everything has a trickle-down effect right now. Everything.
It's a butterfly effect.
It is.
If you've never seen that movie.
Yes, you need to see it.
It's a good movie.
You've got time. Sit if you're at home and watch a movie.
All right.
It's a good one.
Back to the SBA loans.
Okay.
All right. In Alabama, but check your state, they have 10 full-time service centers and 40 outreach locations.
Okay.
All right. All over the web. Another great source is your chambers. Your business chamber of commerces. They want to protect you. That's how they survive and keep their jobs.
Right. They are
okay.
They are your proponents, right?
Right. So you could also think, why should this person help me? Well, they need you. Everybody needs each other right now, right?
Right.
So check out your chambers. They've got links. They've got great links. I know Mobile Chamber, Central South Baldwin County Chamber, Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce, all of them. Southwest, Saraland, Sims, Chickasaw. These are all outlying areas. I think the biggest one that we have at our fingertips is the Mobile Chamber of Commerce, which is linked to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. All of these people have the links. Please don't go through a social media platform. That's my opinion. To start clicking on things to try to get to some information.
If you go to social media, go to a resource that you already have a relationship with and trust. If you go to the Chamber's Facebook page, you're probably safe.
Yes.
If you just get some random message in your feed,
don't click on it.
Step away and go find somebody that you trust that you can confirm that information with.
Another thing you can do on expenses, and this is stuff that's in that webinar that the SBDC put on.
Okay.
And it was navigating the cash flow crunch.
Okay.
All right. The notes that I took: protect the cash that you have. Defer what you can. 2, who can pay you? Nobody can pay you right now.
I know, and that's where
that's double-edged.
We have vendors that I need to pay so that they can pay for their things, but
you need people to pay you,
right?
Because they're thinking the same thing.
Right. Everybody's holding their cash. So
all right. So if we can do a little bit to everybody will have a little bit, and something's better than nothing.
Right. I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay. Number 3, watch your inventories. All right. They suggest, discounting is something better than nothing. That was my words. If it's going to get really, really bad, which they're anticipating, then if you can find bread and want to eat bread, you got to buy bread or make it yourself.
You can make it yourself.
You still got to buy the flour. So Do you discount and at what levels? So that's, again, knowing your business. If you know your inventory and know your business, then that makes it's a awful decision, but it makes it easier when you can see the numbers for what they are and what you need to do. Number 4 was establish payment priorities. Your payroll taxes, we don't know what's going to happen on that yet. I know a lot of people are asking Katie at Payroll Vault. We're waiting to see what's going to come down. It's evolving. The bank, your insurance, raw material. What raw material do you need right now? Buying in smaller batches.
Right.
I was talking last week, I checked on somebody that they service restaurants.
Oh.
And I went, I'm so sorry.
They have inventory.
Think about the trickle effect. Yeah. Everybody, it's the servers, it's the bartenders, it's the people who put everything in that restaurant that the restaurant buys from. Yeah, Again, trickle down.
Yeah, it's just going to be, it's going to impact the whole supply chain.
Everything's going to touch everything else.
All right, so for our employees that aren't well, isn't there a paid sick leave act on the table? Is there some information about that you can... Have there been modifications to that? What do we need to know about that?
Yes, they did come out with, and they're calling it the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. And they signed that into law on March 18th.
Okay.
Now, again, go to the source. And what it's saying is that all employees, 500 and less,
okay.
I don't know all exact rules yet, all employees are eligible for emergency paid sick leave. Now, there's stipulations. Not everybody automatically just ping, you get it.
Okay.
Okay, again, you got to prove what you're doing. You may take emergency paid sick leave if you are unable to work because of the following reasons. And yes, Katie, when you listen, I'm reading this because it's a lot of information. All right. If you're subject to a federal, state, or local quarantine or isolation order related to COVID-19, if you've been advised by a health provider to self-quarantine, you experience symptoms, you're caring for somebody with symptoms that has to stay in quarantine, or you got kids and they have nowhere to go. So that pretty much pertains to everybody right now, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Paid leave under this policy is limited to $511 per day, $5,110 in total, where leave is taken for reasons mentioned above. And then $200 a day where leave is taken for reasons 4, 5, and 6, and that is caring for others or school closures. So if it's the employee that's sick or quarantined or shut down by the law, then they're entitled to be paid is higher than that. My mind automatically goes to, that's great for 5% of the businesses I know, and the other 95% are not sure they can pay their power bill.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Okay. Again, we can work from home for the most part, so it's not directly affecting us that way. But we have clients that if they're going to have to pay an employee that they can't utilize, that's just another negative. For them, that's just another thing that's going to shut them down.
It's put out there I see both sides, like everything else right now. That's why everything is bipartisan. You see good and bad.
It definitely protects the employee.
It does.
The small business employer, that's who this is written for, people who have fewer than 500 employees.
Yes. Yes.
But those people that have fewer than 15 employees, that's painful.
It is very painful. We're going to wrap this up. This is an extra long show today. Hopefully we can get more information out to you. Trying our best to keep up with everything. There's no cheers today, guys.
No, there's. Don't you do it. Don't you start.
I'm not.
Because then I will.
Yesterday was an amazing day watching Facebook. Social media platforms, Instagram. I don't care where your platform is. Watching people come together.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty amazing. So cheers to that.
That is the happy here, because I live in a neighborhood that has about 90 homes in it. I'm seeing people with their children and their dogs, and they're walking. Now, they're waving from across the street.
Right.
We're not touching each other. But I have never seen this much activity in my neighborhood. And there was a shamrock hunt in the neighborhood. Every house put out shamrocks. And then little children are decorating happies on the sidewalks. And I'm seeing a lot of family time that I didn't see before. So maybe if there is a cheers, it's cheers to reconnecting with your family even under these terrible conditions.
Guys, thanks for listening today. And if any of this information can be helpful to anybody else, please feel free to share. Go give us a review, give us a like out there. We want to get more information out. You can find us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. All right, prayers for everybody out there, and y'all stay safe.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.